Hey kids, guess who? It's your silly grandma, Lori. Gonna read another book. This one I'm getting out of the 5-Minute Goodnight Storybook. And I've chosen Little Red Riding Hood. So let's get started. It's gonna be kind of hard to see the pictures, but here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little rabbit who always wore a bright red cloak with a hood. Her name was Little Red Riding Hood. One day, the Little Red Riding Hood and her mother packed a basket of good things to eat. They filled it with grandmother's favorite foods, like fresh pickled carrots, orange blossoms, honey, and homemade bread. And tarts. Please take this basket straight to your grandmother's house, honey. Her mother said. Little Red Riding Hood nodded and her head as her mother helped her and put on the little red cloak. Her mother tied the beautiful bow under her chin, and as only she could do, there with a kiss on the forehead, her mother sent Little Red Riding Hood off through the woods to grandmother's house. Little Red Riding Hood hadn't gone very far when a wolf leaped out from behind a tree. "Where are you going?" he asked. "I'm not supposed to talk to strangers," Little Red Riding Hood said. The wolf looked at her basket. "A picnic?" he asked. "It's not a picnic," said Little Red Riding Hood, as she helped the basket close. "It's a basket for my grandmother. Now please excuse me so I can take it to her." All right, now you guys look at this picture while I go let Angel and Little Bit in. They're scratching at the door. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Let's turn the page. The wolf sniffed the basket. "No flowers? I would never visit my grandmother without a big bunch of flowers. Perhaps you should stop and pick some. You wouldn't want to let her down." Little Red Riding Hood thought that was a good idea. She picked buttercups and daisies, while the wolf ran down the path towards her grandmother's house. Grandmother was rocking in her favorite rocking chair, mending her favorite apron. She hummed a little tune as she worked, so she didn't hear the door creak open. Grandmother also paid careful attention to her needlework, so she didn't see the big hairy wolf sneak into the house and into the closet. "Grrr," snarled the wolf as he sprang from the closet. "Oh my!" cried Grandmother. "You look tasty," said the wolf. Grandmother jumped up from her chair and knocked over the table. She ran out of the house as fast as she could. The wolf looked through Grandmother's closet and found her nightcap, gown, and some glasses. He put them on, leaped into the bed, and pulled the covers up over his nose. What's that wolf up to? He doesn't sound very nice to me. Who's that in the bed? Is that the wolf in the bed? Little Red Riding Hood arrived a few minutes later. "Grandmother, are you home?" she called from the open door. "I'm here, my little dumpling," said the wolf softly. Little Red Riding Hood hurried inside. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have," she said. "All the better to see you with," said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood thought her grandmother sounded funny. She leaned in a little closer to hear her better. When she saw the eyes, "Grandmother, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with," said the wolf. Then the wolf slowly pulled down the covers and from his face. "But Grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood, "what big teeth you have! All the better to eat you with," growled the wolf as he jumped off the bed. "You're not my grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Why, you're the big bad wolf from the forest. What have you done with my grandmother?" The wolf chuckled. "You'll never find out," he said. "That's what you think," said someone behind them. Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf looked up. There was a grandmother, and she was standing in the doorway with a big, strong lumberjack. The wolf chuckled again. "One old lumberjack can't catch a quick and smart wolf like me." The wolf leaped towards the bedroom window, but he didn't get very far. Little Red Riding Hood grabbed the wolf's tail, while Grandma snatched up her nightcap and pulled it down over the wolf's eyes. The lumberjack picked up the wolf and carried him off to the bank, off to the river. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother followed close behind. The lumberjack set the wolf on a big log. He pushed the log into the water, and the wolf quickly sailed down the river. "He doesn't look so big in the middle of that river," said the lumberjack. "He doesn't look so bad when he's so far away," said Little Red Riding Hood. "And he doesn't look like he'll be coming back anytime soon," said the lumberjack as the wolf floated out of sight. With the wolf away and gone, everyone went back to the house and everyone enjoyed the food in the basket. As Grandma sipped some of the tea, she smiled at Little Red Riding Hood. You are very brave, and I'm glad that I'm your grandmother. And I'm glad I'm your guys' grandmother too. I love each and every one of you. More than you could ever know. I'll read another story tomorrow or the next day. I hope you're enjoying these. And stay safe. Love you. Bye-bye.